As we all know, Philippines is one of the leading countries with migrant families and workers. It has brought great economic benefits, but families who had a member working overseas endure problems such as children growing up without one or both parents. These children left behind often experience emotional and psychological stress without the presence of their parents. Parents are considered a child's first teacher and provider of primary needs. Parental absence can affect a child's overall development and learning process. Studies have shown that parental involvement and guidance influences a child's educational performance. Those who lack motivation leads to negative academic performance. We prompted to conduct this research to determine the effect of parental factors on academic performance of senior high school students.
In our first statement, we want to know the frequency of the parental involvement perceived by students towards their academic motivation. Then, on our second statement, we want to know about the frequency of the academic motivation of the grade 12 STEM students. And lastly, we want to determine the significant relationship between the parental involvement that has influenced the academic motivation of the grade 12 STEM students.
For the theoretical framework, the theory researcher used in this study is Hoover, Dempsey, and Sandler model of parental involvement. This theory suggested that family engagement begins with families' decision-making about being involved with students' outcome. Hoover, Dempsey, Sandler suggested that parents' attempt to support children's learning can be classified into four. First is involvement through encouragement. Second is involvement through modeling. Third is involvement through reinforcement. Four is involvement through communication. However, this study will be only limited to parental involvement and student academic motivation.
In our conceptual framework, these are the factors that related to parent and children. Figure 1. Parental involvement factors are parental modeling, parental encouragement, parental communication, and parental reinforcement. And here is figure 2. Students' academic motivation are students' effort, endeavor, and persistence.
Methods. It is a part of a research paper where you can see the description of the study, what research design that the researchers used, and the data collection procedures on how the researcher is able to accomplish it. The research design that the researchers use in this study is the correlational research design. The researchers use a non-probability snowball sample. The instrument used by the researchers is a computer questionnaire. Researchers conducted the survey to grade 12 STEM students of senior high school at Riverside College Incorporation, Bacolod City. The statistical method that the researchers used in this study is the Pearson's correlational analysis. We, the researchers, use a correlational research design. It is because it's a non-experimental which measures two variables. It understands and assesses the statistical methods between with no influence from any extraneous variables. We, the researchers, used a non-probability sampling procedure because there is no assurance on how many respondents fits in our study. We, the researchers, used a computer questionnaire to conduct our survey by sending them a link or an email to their computers so that they were able to answer our survey. Thus, we conducted our survey to grade 12 STEM students at Riverside College Incorporation, Bacolod City. We, the researchers, used a Pearson's correlational coefficient analysis is to determine if there is a significant level between the parental involvement which influenced the academic motivation of a grade 12 STEM students at Riverside College Incorporation, Bacolod City.
This section of the research study tackles about the results and discussions. Table 1, entitled the frequency level, serves as an interpretation table that uses a 5-scale Likert scale to elucidate the results smoothly and easily. Here in the table 2 discusses about the overall frequency of opinion of respondents on the influence of parental factors in academic motivation. Parental involvement, which includes parental communication, parental reinforcement, parental modeling, and parental encouragement, has an overall mean of 3.6, which indicates the often level of parental involvement. Furthermore, the academic motivation in terms of students' effort, students' endeavor, and persistence has an overall mean of 4.3 that implies that these three variables under the academic motivation is in the often level.
According to Statistics Solution of 2021, person's correlation coefficient is used to measure the relationship between the two variables and the association between them. We use person's correlation coefficient to determine the significant relationship of parental involvement and academic motivation, which we will be answering in the statement problem number 3. We use the interpretation to determine the degree of relationship between the two variables. To solve the given that came out from our raw data, we will be using this given in our formula of person's correlation coefficient. And by following these steps, the final answer was R 0.066. As the answer of R is 0.66, by using the interpretation, it lies between the 0.55 to 1, which shows that the parental involvement and academic motivation has a high degree of relationship, and because it is positive, according to Statistics Solution of 2021, if the value lies in positive, it determines that if one variable increases, the other also increases, which being said, if the parental involvement increases, the academic motivation also increases.
Based on the data gathered, statistical methods used in this study, our group therefore conclude that there is indeed a strong, significant relationship between parental involvement that influenced the academic motivation of grade 12 STEM students, which means the parents greatly influence their children in studying. Parents should regularly communicate and support their children in any ways. They could either through phone patch, messenger chat, or any platforms. Because through this study, we also find out that regular communication is truly the key. It is a necessity for parents to show support, involvement, and encouragement not only in the academic aspect but also in the areas that their kids need the proper guidance in order to prepare them for adulthood and later in life.
Why is your research is important in today's society? Our research is important in today's society because of what pandemic affects us. In this time, a lot of parents decided to work abroad due to loss of jobs in order to support the needs and the financials of their families. So, what we do as a researchers, we analyze and gather data to show if there is a significant level between parental involvement which influence the academic motivation of a grade 12 STEM students. And in a crucial times comes, parents is the number one guidance and a motivator to their children to pursue their studies. Even though it's hard, if your parents is with you, it would be an impossible.
The researchers used non-probability double sampling procedure to determine the respondents for the study. The researchers also utilized a sample survey, specifically a research-made questionnaire that will be sent through mail to gather data. Pearson's correlation coefficient was used in this study in order to determine if there were significant factors that influences the academic motivation of senior high school students.
As regard to the question number 7, asking what are the major findings in your study, according to Batistella and Kunako 2019, earlier research reported results to the contrary. Whether children's academic performance is affected is also unclear. Our results clearly found that parental involvement has a great impact on the academic performance of the students. Results and discussion had shown the major findings of the study of how important communication, reinforcement, modeling, and encouragement to each student to boost up their endeavor and become more persistent than they ever was.
To express heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Kirby Adrian Arsenio, Mr. Joshua Vilwala, Mr. Paulo Solatorio, to our fellow colleagues, and to our beloved parents.